the completely benign-sounding Alpha Genesis Corporation is located on South Carolina's Morgan Island, known as Monkey Island. For the future of our institutions and whether the country we all love is ever going to be the same. And sadly, these dramatic changes have already begun.
Close your eyes and imagine a world where TGI Fridays is no more. No more potato skins, no more sticky tables, no more questionable endless apps. Feeling a bit nostalgic, maybe even a little sad? Now, open your eyes and face the cold, hard truth. That world might be closer than you think. Join us as we pour one out for the OG of singles bars and wonder where all the flair-wearing bartenders will go now. Picture this. 43 monkeys decide to pull a Shawshank Redemption in South Carolina, but instead of digging tunnels, these fuzzy jailbreakers just walked out. Yep, you heard that right. These primates pulled off the Great Escape without even breaking a sweat.
Who knows how this happened, but one theory is that the facility was researching how quickly it could lose 43 monkeys.
So let's talk about this research facility. Apparently their security measures were about as effective as a screen door on a submarine. I mean, come on folks, you'd think a place housing dozens of monkeys would have better locks than your average garden shed.
Adding, but please keep your doorbell camera on. Because what if they start humping your old jack-o'-lantern? That would be hilarious.
But nope, these clever little furballs found a way out faster than you can say banana split. Imagine being that poor security guard who showed up for his shift. There he is, sipping his morning coffee, ready for another boring day of watching monkeys pick fleas off each other. Then bam, empty cages, banana peels everywhere, and a whole lot of explaining to do. Talk about a Monday, am I right? But the real fun started when these monkeys hit the suburbs. Picture a bunch of hairy little troublemakers swinging from power lines, raiding gardens, and generally causing more chaos than a toddler on a sugar high.
At the end of the day, folks, despite Trump's election, we have to remind ourselves that right now, at this very moment, we're all okay. There's no reason to panic.
Mrs. Johnson nearly had a heart attack when she found one doing the backstroke in her pool. And Mr. Smith? He swears on his life he saw one driving a golf cart down Main Street. Now, I'm not saying monkeys can't drive, but I'm pretty sure they don't have licenses. Now, try to wrap your head around catching 43 slippery, smart, and probably pretty ticked off monkeys. It's like trying to herd cats. If those cats were tiny acrobats with opposable thumbs and a grudge against humanity, the local animal control must have felt like they were starring in their own personal disaster movie. Monkey Mayhem, the primate predicament, coming soon to a small town near you. But here's the kicker, folks. You want to know the craziest place they found one of these furry fugitives? Brace yourselves. One of these clever little escape artists was found, wait for it, in the local library. Yep, turns out even monkeys need a good book now and then.
Out where they fling, 43 monkeys doing their thing, scampering free.
Wonder if he was brushing up on his escape artist skills or just looking for the banana bread recipe in the cookbook section. But wait, it gets weirder. Because when monkeys run wild, you know the world's gone banana. Just when you thought the monkey business couldn't get any crazier, South Carolina said, "Hold my banana." Picture this, a small town where the local police are armed with nets, animal control is pulling their hair out, and the monkeys, they're living their best lives, swinging from power lines like hairy little Tarzans. The initial response was about as organized as a circus run by clowns.
The completely benign-sounding Alpha Genesis Corporation is located on South Carolina's Morgan Island, known as Monkey Island, except for the fact that 43 monkeys escaped a South Carolina research facility.
Police officers who usually deal with speeding tickets and noise complaints found themselves chasing monkeys with nets. It's like they were auditioning for a low-budget Planet of the Apes remake. Meanwhile, animal control was scratching their heads so hard they probably needed dandruff shampoo. But here's the kicker, these monkeys were outsmarting humans at every turn. They were swinging from power lines like they were training for the Monkey Olympics, raiding gardens faster than you can say fruit salad, and generally making the town look like a bunch of, well, monkeys. It's like they watched Ocean's 11 and thought, hey, we can do that.
If you live, anyone watching tonight, if you live in the monkey-affected area, police strongly advise you to keep your doors and windows secure.
The locals, bless their hearts, came up with some real doozies to catch these furry fugitives. One guy thought he could lure them with a trail of banana peels leading to a cardboard box propped up with a stick. Spoiler alert, the monkeys ate the bananas and used the box as a fort. Another bright spark suggested playing monkey noises over the town's PA system. All that did was confuse the local teenagers. Turns out, according to the eggheads who study this stuff, monkeys are smarter than your average escape artist.
As of this morning, none of the 43 monkeys had been captured, although one witness said he saw them all bouncing on the bed.
They're like tiny, hairy Houdinis with a taste for mischief. These experts were probably sitting in their fancy offices, sipping their lattes and chuckling at the town's attempts to catch the monkeys. "Oh, you thought a net would work? That's adorable," they probably said. As the days went by, people started wondering if their town would ever be monkey-free again. Kids were asking to keep them as pets. Local businesses were considering monkey-proof upgrades, and the mayor was probably thinking about changing the town slogan to Home of the Flying Monkeys.
For now, these monkeys are gone. They're off the grid, leaving their troubles behind. To that,
In the end, how many monkeys did they actually catch? Let's just say if this were a fishing trip, they'd be eating canned tuna for dinner. The monkeys were running the show, and the humans? Well, they were just along for the ride. But while these monkeys were turning South Carolina into their personal playground, something else was brewing. And trust me, it's even nuttier than a bunch of escaped research monkeys. Grumpy Trumpy better watch out, cause there's a new wild card in town. Remember when politics was just boring old debates and policy discussions? Those days are long gone, my friends. Imagine a world where vaccines cause monkey escapes, and environmental crusaders morph into, well, something else entirely. Ladies and gentlemen, meet the newest contender in our political circus. He's got the name, he's got the hair, and boy, does he have some theories. While those crafty monkeys were turning South Carolina into their personal jungle gym, the political world decided to go equally bananas. Enter Robert F. Kennedy Jr., aka RFK Jr., the latest Kennedy to throw his hat into the presidential ring. And let me tell you, this guy makes Grumpy Trumpy look like a voice of reason. Now, RFK Jr. used to be known for his environmental work, you know, saving rivers, hugging trees, that sort of thing. But somewhere along the line, he took a sharp turn into Crazy Town. These days, he's more likely to be found spouting conspiracy theories than planting trees. It's like he went from Captain Planet to Captain Tinfoil Hat overnight. And boy, does this guy have some wild ideas. He's claimed that vaccines cause autism, Wi-Fi is dangerous, and Bill Gates is trying to microchip us all. At this rate, I wouldn't be surprised if he announced that those escaped monkeys in South Carolina were actually crisis actors hired by Big Pharma.
major role is RFK Jr. Now, if you're not familiar with him, it's probably because he ran for president and nobody cared. But
Robert F. Kennedy cares more about human beings and health and the environment than anybody.
The reactions from both sides of the political aisle have been interesting, to say the least. Democrats are scratching their heads, wondering if they accidentally stumbled into a Republican primary. Meanwhile, Republicans are torn between laughing and taking notes. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion, but instead of cars, it's political careers. As for the impact on the Democratic primary, well, let's just say it's about as welcome as a monkey in a china shop. The Dems are trying to pretend RFK Jr. doesn't exist, hoping he'll just go away if they ignore him hard enough. Good luck with that, folks. But here's a thought, maybe those escaped monkeys have the right idea. While we humans are losing our minds over RFK Jr.'s latest conspiracy theory, they're probably living it up at the local TGI Fridays. Can you imagine a bunch of monkeys ordering cocktails and endless apps? They'd probably make better decisions than some of our politicians. At least they know better than to believe everything they read on the internet. Speaking of questionable judgment, let's talk about a place where it's always Friday and the decisions are always interesting. Pour one out for TGI Fridays, folks, because this cultural icon is facing its last call. Remember that feeling when you're 3 Jack Lives Matters deep and suddenly realize it's Monday? Well, TGI Fridays is having one heck of a hangover, and this time, hair of the dog ain't gonna cut it. What's the deal with America's favorite sticky-tabled party palace? And why are we all suddenly feeling nostalgic for potato skins? Turns out our beloved temple of endless apps and questionable decor is facing some serious money troubles. TGI Fridays, the place where it's always Friday, except when it's bankruptcy o'clock.
because TGI Fridays has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. What? But if there are no more TGI Fridays,
Has filed for Chapter 11. That's fancy lawyer talk for we're broke, but please don't take our flair. Now, losing TGI Fridays would be like losing a slightly drunk, overly enthusiastic friend who always knows where to get deep fried pickles at 2 a.m. Where else can you get everything on the menu battered, fried, and served with a side of regret? It's a cultural icon, folks. A greasy, neon-lit beacon of American excess. Think about all the memories we've made there. First dates where you tried to impress your crush by ordering the fanciest thing on the menu. Spoiler alert, it was still just chicken fingers. Birthday parties where you got to wear that giant sombrero and pretend it wasn't the most embarrassing moment of your life. And let's not forget that one time you ate so many potato skins you swore you'd never eat again.
If this is the end, let us take a moment to say goodbye to TGI Fridays. Rest in peace, loaded potato skins.
Until you saw the dessert menu. But TGI Fridays isn't the only restaurant feeling the pinch. The whole industry's been through the ringer since the pandemic hit. It's like COVID decided to play a game of restaurant Russian roulette, and TGI Fridays just got the loaded chamber. So what happens now? Will they have to sell off all that wacky wall decor? Maybe they could open an antique shop specializing in vintage stop signs and obscure sports memorabilia. And what about the staff? Will they have to burn their flair in a ritual sacrifice to the ghost of casual dining past?
For the future of our institutions and whether the country we all love is ever going to be the same. And sadly, these dramatic changes have already begun. TGI Fridays is worried it won't have enough cash if customers redeem $50 million in outstanding gift cards.
Who knows, maybe TGI Fridays will reinvent itself. Picture this, an escape room where you have to find your way out using only expired coupons and drink coasters. Or maybe those escaped monkeys from South Carolina could take over and turn it into a primate-run paradise. TGI Fridays, now with 100% more actual jungle atmosphere. As we say goodbye to endless apps and hello to the end of an era, let's raise one last Jack Lives Matter to TGI Fridays. It may be sticky, it may be loud, but darn it, it's ours. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go stockpile some potato skins before it's too late. Well, folks, what a wild ride we've been on. From monkeys pulling a Houdini in South Carolina to RFK Jr. channeling his inner conspiracy theorist, and TGI Fridays calling it quits on endless apps. It's like the world decided to go bananas all at once. So here we are, living in a reality where research primates are roaming free and our favorite sticky table hangout is drying up faster than Trump's hairspray in a heat wave. What's next? Grumpy Trumpy opening a vegan restaurant? Donnie Diapers launching a line of adult diapers? Maybe those escaped monkeys have the right idea. They could run for office. They'd probably do a better job than some of our current politicians. At least they know how to share their bananas. As one local jokester put it, what if they start humping your old jack-o'-lantern? That would be hilarious. Well, in this crazy world, anything's possible. Expect the unexpected, folks.